This is so fun. Woo. Okay. No, I didn't shoot this video so you could see my new toy. It's Sunday night. It was 117 degrees in Las Vegas tonight. Wow. We were doing a Cube of Truth and everybody was sweating like crazy. But what was really awesome, and I just wanted to share before I get into what I'm doing here, is everybody did it. This group of activists took it on. No complaints. No one complained about it. No one whined like some people do when it's hot outside. They just did it. When one was sweating so much they couldn't take it, they just raised their hand and somebody else came in and took over, and we just kept rotating throughout the night. It was so, I'm just really proud of the group. I'm proud to be a part of this group of activists. I can't say I'm an official member of Anonymous for the Voiceless. I don't even know if any of these guys here are doing it. I mean, we use the Cube of Truth, but for this group of people, they're the ones I'm proud of. I don't think Anonymous for the Voiceless would be proud of me in any way. But when we do get together outside of things, we have a lot of fun. It's not always sweating and working. We have a lot of potluck parties. We get to cut loose, have fun, talk bad about meat eaters. But we typically start out, we'll have the potluck dinner for the first hour of our get-together, then followed by what turns into like 90 minutes or so of workshop, activism workshop. And of course, I do the whole Jesus thing. And quite a few times it's been recorded. People, the guys in the group just, like, oh, let's see what Steve's saying. And they record me. And they sent them to me. So I thought I'd just throw it all together on here. Or at least one of them. Let's just do one of them, okay? Maria, just add any clip. I don't care, any random clip on here. And let's throw it up on YouTube. All right. Hope you like it. Hope it helps somebody.
He said plants will be our food. In Genesis chapter 2, he said he created animals to be our companions. It wasn't until 1,200 years later in Genesis chapter 9 where he gave Noah permission to eat bugs and worms and creeping things, never cows, chickens, or pigs. So I'm going to ask you again, where did God say we could eat animals?
Are you recording that?
Like, you know way too much about this, but I'm pretty sure I heard it somewhere.
You might have heard it from a pastor who really didn't study that.
Okay,
yeah. Because you're telling me you didn't read it, and you're telling me you think God says so, and I'm telling you he did. In Leviticus and Deuteronomy, he gave a whole bunch of rules on when we could eat animals. But you got to remember, there were people who were eating animals for any reason like this. And God said, okay, you want to eat animals? Fine, you can eat animals, but you got to do it this way. You can only do it when the priest kills it in a certain way. You can only do it in a certain location. So instead of them eating this many, all of a sudden with these rules, they're like, oh crap, I'm just going to go eat a salad. All right, that's the way it worked out. God was slowly weaning them off a system of animal sacrifice and animal cruelty that they weren't willing to give up. Just like the South wasn't willing to give up slavery to the North, and they were willing to go to war and die for, how many hundreds of thousands of people died? God was just like, I'm just going to move them slowly, because they would have just cinched it right there at the beginning if he didn't.
That's a good one. And then I would be like, oh shit, he's got me.
Yeah.
All right, I gotta go.
That's the thing about Christians. They will quote anything, but they won't know where they got it from. They heard some pastor say it, and they believe it.
Yeah, most of them don't study on their own very much at all.
No, so that's why when you got a big fat guy with his mouth like me going off, they're just like, crap.
Yeah.
But hold them to it. If they're willing to introduce God into the subject, work it.
Yeah.
And if you don't know, anything, you don't need a theological degree for this. You don't need to study. You don't need to be a Bible geek like me. You can have a normal life. You just need to know that. You can just one little question. Just say, if you have an opportunity, you're a Christian. If you have an opportunity of food that comes from violence or compassion, what should a Christian choose? That's all you got to do.
That's your only choice.
The genius of that is you're not arguing that they can't eat meat. You're allowing them. Just allow them to keep that I can eat meat thing. You're not even going to argue that. You're just not saying you can't. You're saying, should you? And then they have to say, I'm either going to go choose violence and animal abuse, or I'm going to choose love, mercy, compassion, joy. Everything that the Apostle Paul said in Galatians are signs of you being a Christian, that you will be kind and compassionate and merciful. Nowhere to say animal abuse is part of that. So that one sentence, if you don't want to even study, just say, if you got a choice of animal abuse or compassion, what should a Christian choose?
I mean, obviously compassion, so that's why I
So
kill
then-
my animals compassionately.
How do you kill something compassionate? Now you guys know that stuff. That's the standard answers. We all know that.
I just bolt them in the head really quick when they're just.
Is
not
that
watching.
more compassionate than just not bolting them in the head at all?
I don't know. I never thought.
Now, if you were living in the first century Palestine and you were dirt broke and you had no land to grow your own food and the only free food was maybe a fish in the Sea of Galilee, I wouldn't be having this argument with you. But
they didn't have Whole Foods back then.
But
right?
you're in Las Vegas, man. You can get in your car in either direction you go in within minutes. You can be by all the fresh foods from around the world that none of the apostles had access to. So don't try to live by what they did when they were walking around Palestine. Live by what you guys did.
All right, back to Mario. I got a good question. You win.